welcome to the Tuesday, August 12th meeting of the Ayer Planning Board. This meeting hearing the Ayer Planning Board will be held in person at the location provided on this notice. Members of the public are welcome to attend this in-person meeting. Please note that while an option for remote attendance and/or participation via Zoom is being provided as a courtesy to the public, the meeting hearing will not be suspended or terminated if technological problems interrupt the virtual broadcast unless otherwise required by law. Members of the public with a particular interest in a specific item on this agenda should make plans for in-person versus virtual attendance accordingly. This meeting will be live on Zoom. The public may access the proceedings by joining Zoom meeting ID 978-772-8220 or by calling 929-205-6099. For additional information about remote participation, please contact Danny Ruiz, Town Planner, at druiz@ayer.ma.us or 978-772-8220 extension 144 prior to the meeting. First matter of business is to approve the agenda. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any proposed changes or alterations? Hearing none, how do you vote, Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
And the chair votes aye. The agenda is approved. I want to make a general comment about communication at the meeting. Obviously, we need to hear what's going on. We, the board members, need to hear clearly all conversations, all discussion regarding the application. All of you in the room deserve to hear everything. The people on Zoom need to hear, and hence the microphones, plus the microphones are recording. That's the reason why we ask that if you wish to speak, you lift your hand and wait for recognition from me, the chair. Once recognized, you come up to the table, we'll pull a chair out for you, and you identify yourself by name and address. No other talking in this room is permitted. It's very distracting to the people who are trying to keep minutes, and I ask if you find it absolutely necessary to speak to someone beside you, please get up and take the conversation out of the room. In this way, we have the best chance for making sure everyone can hear what's being said here tonight. Thank you. First item of business, I believe, is 18 Pond Street, and we need a motion to open, correct? So I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for 18 Pond Street, map 34, parcel 22, site plan review and stormwater management permit. Any comment, any deliberation, discussion? Hearing none, Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye, the public hearing is open. Do we have a representative of the applicant here? If you would come up and introduce yourself, sir.
My name is Mike Carter from GCG Associates, here on behalf of the Air Housing Authority. Also here is Ken Martin, the Executive Director.
Janet Kravadakis.
Oh, excellent, and welcome. Nathan, would you be so kind to move the microphone closer to the gentleman so we can
Sure.
make sure everything's captured?
Okay.
All right. Will you take us through the narrative, please?
Okay. So the Air Housing Authority has an application before you tonight. It's an existing site. It's Elderly Housing Authority. There's 41 units, and up on the plan on the screen up there, this doesn't work on this TV. Basically, it comes off of Pond Street, and then the fields are behind on the bottom of the sheet, just to familiarize you if you're not familiar with the site. So the main entrance comes from the top down into Pond Street. There's a parking area running parallel to the back lot lines there, wraps around, and then goes down behind the buildings. So the Housing Authority has secured some funding from the EOHLC to reconstruct the parking lots, sidewalks, make it ADA compliant. As I said, this is elderly, and if you were to go out there, there's a lot of trip hazards. There's a lot of things that don't comply with ADA, and that's just because of the time it was built. It was a little different time,
Right.
a long time ago.
So this brings it up?
This brings it up to conforming with ADA compliance as far as the outside, the pavement and the sidewalks, handicap ramps, accessibility to the front doors of the buildings. And if you look at it, you can see a lot of the parking is up on the top sheet, is away from the buildings. Being elderly, that's quite a ways to walk. So we proposed to add about 11 spaces, which make it more accessible to the elderly. Actually, yeah, that's a perfect sheet to go to. Thank you. So this is the proposed plan. We're not adding any. The places we're adding parking spots are down on the bottom, actually, those are existing. If you just go to the left a little, right? Yeah, there's 5 spots right there because those people have to walk out and across the parking lot to the spaces over there. And then if you go further to the left, there's 2 parallel spots for those units there. Those are the proposed spaces we're adding on the bottom of the site. If you're familiar with the site, that's about 15 feet lower than the parking lot above.
Yeah.
And then up on top, we are proposing to add 3 spots right along the front of the building, right in there. We're taking out 3 trees. Probably one of the biggest things we're doing is we're making all the grades ADA compliant. Like, for example, to go from the top parking lot to the lower parking lot, right now there's a set of stairs in between the 2 buildings. You kind of see the crosshatch. It's a set of stairs there right now. You go down about 5 steps to get to the patio area where they're supposed to be, and then from the patio or down to the back parking lot, you go down many steps. What we're putting in is a walkway. So the lower part is a 5% grade walkway, so it'll be accessible to the people down below. And then it'll be a ramp up on the top part from the sidewalk to get down to that patio area.
Is it
So
wheelchair accessible?
there won't be any steps there. It's ADA compliant. And that's kind of the patio area, an area where they go. And same thing over on the right side. You see that crosshatch there? Yep, right in that area we're adding parking. We're adding a sidewalk there from the back of that building so that people come out. If you go out there now, it's a significant step. Let's put it that way. It's about 8 to 10 inches. That's the overall scope. I know that there's been some comments. We did submit some plans, which I know we're not going to be reviewing tonight, but basically I can go over those if we'd like at some point. But that's the overall picture of the project. Town, most likely at this point, the construction would be next spring. We were hoping to get it done this fall, but due to timing, it may not happen that way.
Okay, thank you. Danny, before we proceed, could you explain for the record what triggered site plan review and stormwater management permit for this project?
Yes, so the project, since it's over 40,000 square feet of impervious or grading of that for stormwater, it triggers a major stormwater permit. So because you trigger a major stormwater permit, you also trigger site plan review.
Okay, thank you. And what do you recommend for going through the comments? Because I don't know that you've had an opportunity to submit responses.
So actually, the applicant has had a chance to respond to them. I received them yesterday. They revised plans as well, so I haven't. Matt and I have not had a chance to really review the comments, the responses to our comments, and the plans. So what I think at this point we could go maybe. I don't know if we want to go through any of the comments unless the board had any major concerns that they wanted to discuss that were in the comments. But they did reply to them, so we're kind of in that. At the next meeting, we would be able to discuss and kind of go through any of the plan revisions that were done.
Yeah, I mean, my inclination is to do this when the responses and the site plan are available for us to review and for you to reference. If that's acceptable to my colleagues on the board.
This project's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
They're not really doing that. They're just redoing the pavement and the sidewalks in that area. So it's not really a lot of construction or any of that. So it's not a more complex site as we would have if you were starting from scratch. So it's really more of there weren't a lot of comments that we had. So I think, for the next meeting, we'd be able to provide them with any additional comments if there are any, and then also be able to possibly get a decision put together as well for this, and be able to discuss the comments, the revisions to the plans, and a draft decision.
That sounds reasonable.
That sounds very reasonable. The comments we could address, we did. We added what the DPW asked. And I know we're not going to discuss them, but a lot of what we're asking for is waivers of your regulations because we can't put drive aisles in and islands in the middle of, you'll see that in our response.
Right.
So.
And just as a reminder to everyone, waivers are granted on one of 2 conditions. One, either it's just irrelevant, there's something that doesn't apply, or 2, there's an advantage to doing it differently to the town. Thank you, and that's consistent. Good. I have a question. Were you thinking, when it comes down to actual work, would this be phased so there's always some parking available that's not disturbed and back and forth, or how do you imagine that happening?
Yeah, on sheet 2, there's a whole bunch of notes. And it basically, so it's a publicly bid project, and that right-hand side, it talks about phasing. We will come up with a phasing plan with a contractor. They always have to maintain, obviously, people live there, they will maintain access at all times
Right.
to the people, the residents.
Noise control?
The noise would be just standard construction from 7 to, well, actually, housing authorities typically don't allow it till 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock till 4.
Oh, great. Do my colleagues have any questions for the applicant?
Sure, yes.
Nathan.
What is, just, can you address just an overview of what the stormwater, will there be stormwater management because we're triggering the stormwater?
Yeah. It's okay. All right. Basically, up on top, basically the stormwater from the site flows downhill to the bottom of the sheet, onto the fields. And if you're looking, if you go, is it on?
There's a.
Yeah, right here. Okay. You see those two crosshatches? There's actually 2 existing pipes. And if you went out there today and you looked at them,
Yeah, I've seen.
there's some significant ditches,
Yeah.
erosion. So we're going to stabilize that, and we're going to put heavy riprap in there and take care of that. And then one of the things that we're adding up there is a leaching catch basin in the parking lot. And that was one of the DPW comments. So we're putting a new one in, so we'll just put a leaching one in. The soils are ideal for it, so.
What's the location for that?
It would be right between the 2, I believe. I can't see the further.
So this one has a remove and replace catch basin right here.
Okay,
And that's going to be a leaching catch basin in the end.
okay.
Yeah, so see the hatch on the right? Right where his mouse is, that's going to be a leaching catch basin right there.
Do remainder of my colleagues have any questions or comments?
I just assume wait till see the responses
Okay.
from the applicant and to DPW and Mr. Ruiz's comments.
Okay. I'd like to open up to public comment on 18 Pond Street. Does anyone in the room have any questions or comments? Yes, sir. And
Yeah.
I'll just sit with you.
All right.
Just pull up a chair. So as the engineer explained,
you could repeat your name, sir.
Kenneth Martin, I'm the director.
Good to see you.
Same here. So the big advantage in the lower end of the back where the council on aging space, we didn't really talk about that. But most of the parking in the rear is for the council on aging. They run all their programs from there. The additional parking spaces that we're adding, that he addressed right there, 5 spaces, will help alleviate the situation, the parking issue that we have right now. So that will also help that. Also, putting some handicap spaces on the top end will also alleviate that situation for more parking for the council on aging, because people will be able to park at a handicap spot over there to make it easier. So this is benefiting, specifically the reason for this, as the engineer indicated, is to bring in compliance. This was built in 1981-82. Back then, for some reason, they didn't think that seniors were going to continue to drive vehicles. They thought after 65 that would be the end. We know that's not the norm today. They're living longer. We're providing support services, and we have congregate housing there additionally, and there are people who are elder seniors, but they're still capable of driving, so we do need the additional parking spaces. And if you were on site, you would see that there are very limited handicap spots, and some of those spots do not meet the code of today. So all of these changes, this is a $1.2 million funding from the state to do the whole site. We're a pilot program for the state for housing authorities. We're one of 5 that we're going through this, and it's to meet the needs of the seniors is what it's basically doing. So We appreciate your input and your approval so we can get moving and get this done because, as the engineer indicated, there are some tripping hazards there.
Yeah,
Over time, the concrete is lifted and we've
Oh, yeah.
shaved it down and whatnot. But there are some real issues and we need to address the needs of our seniors. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any comments from Zoom? Anyone on Zoom? Oh, okay, there's a gentleman there? Okay, good. If you would watch Zoom for me. And sir, if you would give a name and address, please.
Leonid Sakharov, we are living at Groves 53. It's just neighbor to all of this stuff. Really, I have only one question. My impression that all this project and everything about this disproportional to what proposed to do. Because of really, I have no idea what really supposed to change here. It will be very helpful to put with red ink two points that will be different from present situation. Because of up to now, what my impression, nothing will be changed at all. And what for all this fuss with $10 letters to everybody, if nothing really will be changed. Thank you.
So what he's looking for is to show what the differences are from what's currently out there right now existing to what's going to be proposed. Basically, kind of go through all of the
Red
changes.
line area,
Yeah.
red circle, or red square.
Colors help, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a, no, I was gonna say, is that amenable to you? To show that, or to produce that?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can do that for the next meeting and we'll bring it up on the board as a
Okay.
as a presentation plan.
That would be great. Thank you. That would be good. Thank you. Any other comments? Did you see anything? Janet?
I just want to go ahead. My name is Janet Providakis, 1 Berlania Court. I am the chair of the Housing Authority Board. And with that, when we heard about this project, we were thrilled. And the reason behind it is because, as Mr. Martin mentioned, there are trip hazards. And they have been great in trying to level everything. But to have all this done, it means a lot to the individuals that live there. So definitely I want to give my support.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank
Anything else?
I don't see any hands raised on Zoom.
Okay, so I think what we're looking for is a motion for continuance.
Oh,
Excuse me, Mr. Chair.
Oh, we got somebody. All right. Now it's-
Yes, I'm sorry to interrupt.
You're
I
not
can't
interrupting.
It's Colleen. I
Mhm.
can't find the raise my hand thing anymore. I
Oh.
just have mute or unmute.
It's under the heart.
So I just want to say, sorry.
It's okay. It's under the heart. It's now it's moved with hearting.
Thank you, Julie, but I still don't see it. But I'll just say this very briefly. I support the endeavor entirely. I've been to the Council on Aging 18 Pond many, many times over the 40 years I've lived here. And it's always been a tripping hazard. And I think I'm pretty able-bodied. So I endorse their request and I hope you all will approve it. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else in the queue?
Nope.
Yep. Again, if you would name and address, please.
53 Grove Street, that was my husband's.
Hello, welcome.
It's a very quick question. How long is this project?
Yeah, how long will it take?
Talking to this?
Yeah.
Okay, am I in the right spot?
Yeah.
So let's say hypothetically we'll start next spring, April. It'll probably take about 60 to 90 days, 60 days. Is
2 to
the
3
heavy,
months.
the heavy work will be probably 45 days.
Right.
And then there'll be luminance seeding and hopefully we're gonna,
Striping.
hopefully we're gonna catch the grass season in the spring and then we'll have nice grass throughout the year because it'll be, say 60 to 90 days.
Okay, thank you.
And secondary, because we are neighboring property, right? So is anything going to change in terms of the planning, like, borders or any sort of movements?
Meaning in your property?
I mean, just in general on the parking line, or right there. Yeah.
So no, that parking line right there is where it is today. And actually, that's one thing I should have probably mentioned. There's light poles along the back part, line right there, there's, I believe there's 3 or 4. Three. We're gonna remove and replace those with, shielded LEDs, so there will be no overspill, and that's one of my responses to him.
So that's an improvement.
Yeah, so it's an improvement right now. So what it means in the shield is that the light won't go back. It'll just go straight to the ground and then across the parking lot towards the building. So
Okay.
if for the people that live behind there, they're not shielded right now. I can.
Okay.
They're old.
Okay.
Okay, great, thank you so much.
Thank you. Was there someone else in the back who had a hand up? Okay. I know you're all trying to catch me out here. All right. Motion for continuance?
So moved.
Seconded.
I need someone to do it formally. We have to acknowledge.
I'll make a motion that.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion that the public hearing for 18 Pond Street, map 34, parcel 22, application for site plan review and stormwater management permit be continued to the next planning board meeting,
Which is August 26th.
Okay,
August 26th.
I'll second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Thank you very much. We'll see you at the next meeting. Thank you. All right, next item. I need, I'll do it. I make a motion to open up the public hearing for 0 Winthrop Avenue rear VOA parking lot, map 27, parcel 213, for site plan review. Do I have a second?
Seconded.
Second. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie? Chair votes aye. The hearing is now open, and who's here to represent? Oh, there he is. Thank you. Can we bring up a second chair? That would be great.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How is everybody?
Good, how are you?
So
Introduce yourselves for the record.
I'm Janet Field. I'm here on behalf of the VOA. And
Ian Rubin from Mark Ian Rubin.
so this plan is before the board. The VOA currently has employee parking along High Street. Well, I don't know.
Right down here.
And there's a little bit of a conflict with the way they currently back their cars and pull in along that right of way. In addition to that one issue, furthermore, when they get deliveries, so loading and unloading, they actually do right in the center of the street right now. So this proposed parking relocation will allow them to use where the current parking is kind of as a loading zone, so that they can back up, so trucks can back up into that area, and it actually, their entrance door to their kitchen is right there. So it will allow them to have like a little bit of a ramp, and they can get right in there with their delivery. So it'll simplify things for them in that respect. And we did talk about maybe keeping a couple of parking spaces right down at the end of the parking lot, because there is plenty of room for overflow if the board thought that was a good idea. But so that's kind of the reasoning behind this request. And several years ago, the VOA purchased this lot up here where they've proposed this additional parking. The cars would access this new lot down where they're currently accessing all their other existing parking. So there are, I think, 20 some odd parking spaces scattered along Webster Avenue, not including, like the temporary parking and the turnaround, but actual parking spots. So those will remain, and then this extra parking will be in this new lot, is proposed to be in this new lot. I mean, it's really,
Ian, you want to just also talk about the bioretention?
Yeah, the bioretention was put in to get the first inch of ground. However, that only takes care of recharge. The remainder of that runoff does flow right through our development. And so we are controlling that runoff the same way that we're controlling the runoff from VOA, because that also goes onto this land.
So that was always, that was always factored into the drainage calculations in the drainage system for the Lincoln Hill development. But
So
by adding this parking lot, it's kind of just looking at adding,
a little bit of space there, that's, yeah, it was like 6,500 square feet of pavement and a bit of lawn. That's what the bioretention area is taken as his lawn.
And Danny, I'm going to ask the same question I asked before. What triggered site plan review for this particular project?
So building a parking lot with more than 5 spaces.
Thank you. Okay. Good. Questions?
Would you like to start off by explaining the authority given to the fields to represent the VOA in a letter we received?
Yes.
And it's up on the website? I
Yes,
think.
it is up on the website.
Take us from the beginning, if you would.
Oh.
So as part of our site plan review application, we require authorization from the property owner to be able to submit the application. The VOA did provide a letter, which is shown in here, giving them the giving Lincoln developers the authorization to submit the application on their behalf. Typically, we see this on projects, which is why either sometimes you'll have a different owner than an applicant. Sometimes you'll have the owner and applicant being the same. But it's just a requirement so that we understand, that we know that the property owner is also on board with what is being submitted.
Okay.
Should we go through the comments, or do we want to?
Yes, so we can go through the comments on this one. The applicant has not had a chance to respond to them
Oh.
yet or revise them. They have seen them,
okay.
but they have not responded to those yet.
Oh, yeah, I think we responded to your comments, Danny.
Oh.
Did you? No, you didn't, okay. No, I responded to them, but
Good try, Ian.
okay.
yeah, I haven't sent anything.
That's-
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. And
But I'm happy to discuss them.
I had a question, I guess through the chair to the applicant. Where did the number 17 come from? Like what went into that?
I think that there were 17 on the other side originally, and we just relocated them.
Ends up being 18, I think.
yeah, it turned out that I think they ended up with 18 in the end.
Okay. Oh, are you interpreting that as 17 plus 1 ADA? I interpreted that as 16 plus 1.
17 plus 1 ADA.
Okay.
Good. Ken, did you have any further questions, or?
Well, just to take just one tiny thing on the plan. The ADA compliant space has it's a van accessible space. It has the drop-off side away from the sidewalk. Wouldn't it be in reverse, that you'd just flip it?
So, yeah, I know this was one of my comments, not
through the
specifically
comments.
to that, but my comment was also tied to the ADA compliance needing also some sort of a path from
Yeah, right.
parking space to the, so depending on where, they could leave it here and have because there is no actual sidewalk here, I don't think, on this side. So
There's nothing there.
they would need, I mean, wherever it is, they would just need some sort of a connection to the existing sidewalk.
Yep, okay. Well,
wanted
maybe, sorry?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask the board's opinion about something to do with that ADA spot, so, is it okay? I wondered if it would be acceptable to relocate that accessible spot closer to the building in exchange for a spot. So if we took a regular parking spot closer to the building, put that in the lot, could we count, like, do you want a handicap space in that lot no matter what, or could we relocate that potentially?
I mean, in my opinion, I would say if we have it closer, the better, because you can, we can use one of the existing parking spaces that
Right.
are already close to the building
Right.
as the handicap, because this is kind of
Yeah,
the front entrance is over here, so for accessibility, it is a ways.
Right, and there's spots all along there. so-
Exactly. So, I mean, in my opinion, I would be okay with having that switched.
Okay.
There's nothing,
And
there's nothing in
then-
our regulations that requires that spot to be with the other ones in the same grouping? I'm just checking.
I'll confirm with the building commissioner on that, if you would.
That's what I wondered.
Be confirmed?
Because then if they do have it switched over here, the hatching they would gain another parking space as well over there, and they would just have to figure out hatching on this side, or if it was necessary. So let me confirm with the building commissioner.
Okay, that sounds reasonable to me.
The net result is gonna be the same. They're
Right.
gonna lose two over there, they're gonna put two over there. I think it's VOA input, just get the input from the VOA.
Yeah, I think the only difference would be that this is for a van,
Yeah, the other
whereas
one has
they
to,
should already have one for a van here, so that I have less, less space required if they put it in front of the building. That,
Yeah.
we can hope.
Great. Any other of my colleagues have
Vicky?
comments or questions? You have some?
We're gonna go through
Yeah, we can go through.
the comments now,
Oh, I was a little confused. Can we go through the comments, or do we go and wait till next time when they have a chance to respond?
No, we can go through the important comments that I think
Good, let's
we
do
need to
that.
kind of go
And
through.
do you want
I
to
think
start with?
Kathleen had a question.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kathleen.
I was gonna say, so the project narrative does say a total of 17 vehicles, including one ADA compliant space. So I don't know, whenever this gets updated, if we can have the final count.
18.
Yeah, there's 18, so I'll make sure when you submit for the next revision, just make sure that the narrative also.
Matches.
Okay, which comments we start with, Danny?
So the first one we have here is from Conservation. The project is outside of the Conservation Commission's jurisdiction. However, given the sensitivity to the wildlife habitat or area surrounding the proposed parking area, lighting should be limited, comply with town bylaws, and be dark sky compliant. Location of lighting should be shown on the plan. The proposed bioretention area needs to have a construction detail sheet submitted and proposed planting plan, given the details of the maintenance schedule for the bioretention areas and need to monitor the vegetation. A O&M plan should also be submitted.
Thoughts?
Agree.
All right. So,
The next one is from the DPW.
I'll do this. I'll read it for you. So, their comments are: number one, erosion control, silt fence and straw wattle shall be provided on the area disturbance during construction. Number two, all disturbed areas surrounding the parking lot shall be loamed and seeded. 3, lighting shall be provided at a location approved by the planning board. I think that's similar to conservation. And an approved planning list, similar, shall be provided for the bioretention basin prior to installation.
All acceptable.
can I
Yes,
make
sir.
a comment on that?
Please.
As far as the lighting goes,
Yeah,
this doesn't have to be fully lighted. We could put in like 4 poles on each corner, and that would be adequate.
Poles or are you thinking
I believe the plan called for bollard lights.
right, little
Bollard
low
lights.
ballard lights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but but they won't light up the whole parking lot.
Right.
No.
They get smashed in the winter.
Oh, is that the deal?
So then I'll confirm with the police chief, because that's typically security reasons why we ask for that. I'll ask for his opinion to see if he's okay with if the bollard lights aren't enough, if they want at least maybe 1 pole. I would say a small, low level pole. I wouldn't want anything big, just because we don't want to affect any of the neighbors in the area.
Minimize the spillage.
Minimize the light spillage
Yeah.
of that, and obviously it would be dark sky compliant.
Yeah.
But I can confirm with the police chief on that to see what he would prefer.
Okay.
Nathan?
Mr. Chair, on lighting, we do have bylaw on lighting, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Would there be any waiver required if it's what we're discussing, like a low lighting?
So as part of our bylaw, they have to comply with dark sky compliance. That's part of the bylaw.
Yeah.
Though I don't know if I will have to look in the general bylaws to see if if they would need a waiver from lighting.
Yeah.
I'd also have to look at section 9.1 or 9. I forget which is the lighting one. I think it's like 9.3 or 9.4.
Off-street parking?
Yeah, it's within the parking lot
Yeah,
one.
9-1.
Yeah, so I'll have to take a look at that to see if there is a waiver required. If they don't, if they don't choose to go with the light pole, I'll double check that, and then I can provide that as in writing for them to request that waiver as well.
Mr. Chair, Ian, can't you just supply us with the light that you think would work based on what you and VOA agree would be the best for them? In whatever ties into what they have there now, I guess, as far as security lighting and things like that. I'm sure they have an idea of what they want, but
Yeah.
if he submits it to us, we can decide.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, they submit it to us, I should say. Thank you. Okay, so that's that.
One more question,
Please,
Mr.
Nathan.
Chair. This is all private area, right? The road, the parking, this doesn't have
Private
that
road,
public street compliance.
not a public
Correct.
street.
Okay, okay.
All right. Should we move on to the next set of comments? As it turns out, neither the police nor fire had any comments, so we'll just go directly into, I'll give this to Danny because it's his comments, if you want to take the lead on this, sir.
Under the application, I had a couple of comments for that. The application of the site plan state that the project address is 15 Winthrop Ave rear, but the assessors has it as 0, so we would just have to make sure that gets updated properly. The application also states that the photometrics plan was included, but it was not. So you're going to be requesting that waiver, or you're going to submit that. That's up to the applicant.
Excuse me.
And then, as well as the application states that stormwater report was submitted, but it was, the calculations that you did for the 1-inch runoff. So I would just, I'm gonna have to get a determination from Matt to see if that's sufficient. I believe it should be, because this doesn't require a full stormwater report, because it's already being accounted for within your stormwater report for the other project. But I'll have to confer with Matt on that one. Sure. Site plan, we talked about this. It does not show the bollard light locations. The plan shows a bioretention area, no landscape plan, so we'd need that. Sections 9.16A1, parking facilities with more than 5 parking spaces shall be bordered on all sides except for required access drives with a landscape buffer of sufficient density and height to provide effective screening from parking for parked vehicles. So this ties into my next comment, which is to show the limit of clearing so that we know how much of the existing tree line is going to be removed. Because if you're not really taking that much, then that comment is kind of moot if you're going to use the existing trees that are in that area. Erosion controls, they're not shown on the plan, would need to be shown. As the same with a detail on the erosion control as to what you would be using. The applicant would need an ADA compliant connection to the proposed parking lot, but if you guys end up switching that, then you would no longer need that. Bicycle accommodations, obviously, this would most likely not have bicycles, so a waiver request would be needed for that one. Site plans show that the hatched area next to the handicap is 8 feet wide, which is larger than the 5 foot required. I'm assuming that's because you were trying to keep the spaces all even.
No. I was under the assumption that for a standard parking lot, you have to have at least one van parking lot.
Okay, because it's a van accessible.
Right.
Okay.
But however, if we are tying this into ADA, does it need the van parking space? I mean, that's the question.
Okay. Yeah, it comes down to that.
And then again, if we put an additional ADA parking at ADA.
VOA.
At the VOA.
VOA.
Yep.
VOA.
Yeah.
A lot of acronyms.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
Okay. The site plan doesn't show snow storage, so you'd have to, how that would be
okay,
handled.
let me just, if you go back to the site plan, I think there's adequate room on the northeasterly side, up there to push all the snow up there.
Okay. I would just want to make sure, look at the limit of clearing. This goes into that other comment of how much are you clearing from the property and needing that buffer. So for snow storage too, if you're going to be
You said
storing
buffer to,
Screening.
yeah, the screening. This comment under section 9.1.
okay, screening, but yeah, there's room there to put a fence or arborvitae's as
Okay.
well as putting snow storage up
Okay,
there.
that's why I just want to make sure you're remembering that one as well.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to you're obviously not going to be
No,
plowing
can't
snow
push
into
it.
the bioretention area. So, obviously it's going to come up here. It's
Right.
just making sure you have enough of
Yeah.
that room.
A&R.
Yep, and then the last one is obviously the A&R would be
Right,
necessary.
which, the A&R would be done at the same time it's done for the other plan.
It would just, the way we would do it is obviously it'd be a condition, we did this on the Pine Street project. Just condition that prior to any site work and, starting, that would need to be done. That's what I had for comments here.
Okay, great. Board, colleagues, comments? Yes, Nathan?
Is there a detail of the curbing for the parking lot?
So there,
Could you bring that up?
Just running it down slope.
yeah, there's only curbing on one area. So there's a Cape Cod berm detail, but it's only for up here. In this area. Because it's going to sheet flow into the bioretention.
Right, and there's no, and on the left side there, there's no, it's sloped away, so.
Yeah. See.
Yeah. Is there, do we have any requirement to keep cars from going over the edge?
No?
Okay.
I think the trees that are going to be outside of that area would be.
Yeah.
Kind of the deterrent. I mean, it's not a huge drop off in this area. It's
Yeah, but you don't want, if you don't want snow in there, you don't want a car in there either.
Agreed.
It would seem wise, especially, I'm gonna just make this the recommendation that if we don't want snow in that corner, like the wooden guardrail would serve both a means to keep cars from flowing over and to prevent the snow from being pushed that direction.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a nice addition.
Julie, Kathleen?
Are you asking for that, Nathan, or?
I'm recommending it, sure.
If I can speak.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't see any objection to that if you think it's a good idea. I wouldn't want it if it would interrupt the flow into the bioretention, but I shouldn't think.
It's got, 8 feet apart posts, that's all, that's what it'll be.
I like it.
Yeah.
We could add that to the plan.
Yeah. And then just a detail with it as well.
Yeah. They did ask it for the other plan, so same detail.
Oh, yeah, perfect.
Julie, Kathleen? Okay. I'd like to open up public comment, first from the room and then Zoom. Yes, sir, if you would come up and identify yourself. If we could prepare a chair for the gentleman?
No, I don't just.
My name is Alan Camara. Myself and my wife Lori Sable are abutters on Webster Avenue. She wrote this letter and she wants me to read it. She's not able to be here today. She's in Germany. To the planning board and the town planner, as an abutter to Neshoba Park, we are writing to officially express our concern about the proposed new parking lot to be built at the east end of Webster Avenue. This plan is on the agenda for the August 12th meeting. We have been told that Webster Avenue is designated a private way and that Neshoba Park and the 4 abutters own to the center of the road. We have a hard time understanding how this plan will not have a serious and negative impact, 1, to Neshoba Park residents who walk on Webster Avenue, and 2, to abutters who use it to access our driveways, garages, and other portions of our property, and 3, to emergency vehicles. How will the extra two-way traffic safely navigate this narrow road if there's an emergency or even on those occasions when someone is not paying attention? There is parking for at least 10 cars on Winthrop Avenue, and as long as people don't park on our lawn, that's why we installed the large colorful rocks that some of you have seen, we're fine with cars parking in front of our house. It is also extremely disappointing to think of yet more trees being cut down in service to this development. Furthermore, we are disappointed that no one from the VOA or the planning board discussed this plan with us ahead of it being put on the planning board agenda. This kind of discussion would have gone a long way to promote goodwill between the VOA and at least the abutters. Finally, we believe, but are not certain, that the plan that is on the Ayer website isn't the current plan. In order for residents to think successfully about this project, the current plan should be available. We sincerely hope the planning board, the VOA, and the Lincoln Hills development team will seriously scale back this plan in consideration of all the affected residents. We look forward to hearing from you soon.
So I actually responded to your wife regarding that exact email, and I did address some of her concerns on that. So regarding the site plan, I think there was some confusion as to whether or not people were looking at the Lincoln Hill project or the actual VOA parking lot submission project on the website. I did send that over to your wife, so she did see that the site plan on here is the correct site plan. So that was addressed. I did also explain that the planning board does not approach abutters prior to public hearings regarding projects. That's not our authority. We're not allowed to do that, nor am I. That's up to the applicant for them to do that, which I agreed probably would have been good to do that, to approach the neighbors in the area, but I was under the impression that that had happened. In terms of the private way, so the private way, the attorney, the developers team provided a letter from their council, which I then sent to our town council, and they gave us a letter saying that because it's a private way, they do have rights to pass and repass, that the board is able to consider this application, but if there is any if the neighbors aren't happy about the private way use, the neighbors are to approach the VOA and discuss it with them. And then in terms of the traffic and the elderly people that are walking up and down the street, obviously the VOA is the one who is putting this project on, so they do not have a concern for that the residents are going to get hit or be in any danger.
Well, they should.
I understand your opinion, but they are the property owner and they're the ones who are responsible for their well-being. So I get where you're coming from, but they're the ones who have to speak for the residents on behalf of them. So I hope that's kind of addressed all of your comments.
I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, the chair acknowledges the woman in the blue.
I want to go back to, can I go back to one comment that was just made?
Hold on, Ken, I have to acknowledge you first. And
sorry.
She's ahead of you,
Oh.
and then I'll turn to you.
I didn't realize.
Please.
I'm Keziah Salter on 10 Winthrop Avenue. Am I like enough? Is that good?
You're good, Kat.
I had a question about the stormwater. You said in your initial thing that all of the runoff would be contained in the stormwater plan for the Lincoln Hill development. Does the Lincoln Hill development stormwater plan take that into account in their stormwater assessment of that thing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep. That was the first question I asked. Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, do you have like a piece of evidence about all of the stormwater in the Lincoln, the new parking lot, all of that is going to end up either being contained in the bio retainment area or in the stormwater. We don't know that it's going off somewhere else unthought of.
It's fully collected by, in what we collect on Lincoln Hill. So it's certainly within the catchment area that pre-existed. So it still goes the same place.
Okay.
And just also, so the parking lot, the way they grade it, they'll grade it at a way so that it, yeah, so if you see up here on the plan, it says 361, 360, and 359. So the way it's designed is to come this way, straight down into the bioretention area, so that it's not graded so that it'll go off-site that way or even north. It has to come down, so if it comes off to this, it's gonna follow the swale into the bioretention.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
When do you leave for school?
2 weeks.
Good luck, girl.
So was someone else?
I think Ken.
Oh, I'm going to acknowledge Ken. Thank you. Chair acknowledges Mr. Diskin.
Yeah, so this has to do with a slight clarification about a statement that was made by Mr. Camara, who said he was told by someone that the ownership went to the center of the road. I have no info that that's correct or incorrect or anything else, and I don't know who told him.
So private ways,
Private ways.
under state law, typically what it is you own to the center of it. So that's state
Typically.
law. Unless it is owned outright by somebody.
Right, okay.
Which is, we ran into this discussion over on Pine Street.
Now, the other thing I wanted to follow up on is the site plan review did require a butter notification.
Yes.
So even though the planning board doesn't reach out personally, we're required under our site plan regulations to notify abutters within 300 feet,
That is correct.
which we did.
Yes.
Thank you.
You good, Ken?
Yeah, thanks.
Sir, if you'd come up, name and address, please.
Matt Polis, 40.
No, well, wait till you sit down, then you can say it. That way the microphone picks it up and it's part of the record. Thank you, sir.
Matt Polis, 43 Highland Avenue, also a next door neighbor to Alan, who previously spoke. We've owned the house for about 2 years now, excuse me, and we were told around that time that we owned up to half of the road as well. I have a few concerns, one of them being ease of access to the garage that we have there. I know with the increase in traffic, also noise, we have a space above the garage, you know, with the increase in traffic, we're concerned about that. Also safety, we have a toddler and another one on the way, and we're concerned about the increase in traffic on that private way.
Okay.
Did you say you were in a butter on Webster?
43 Highland Avenue, which our garage
Is it
spits
this?
out into.
In the middle?
Yes,
This one.
that's Alan's, that's our garage, which
Right.
dumps out into Webster. Yeah.
Got it, thank you.
That's this property right up here. So I don't know.
Yeah, if you wish to comment, either, it's up to you.
My only comment is that it's a private way and, you know, it's a road basically, and they have as much right to travel on it as anybody else on the private way. I mean, it's just
Yep.
facts. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
Any further comments, sir? Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
I'm going to acknowledge Kathleen and then I'll acknowledge you. Kathleen?
Was there, do we have an estimate of how many trips there will be to parking?
We don't typically require it with this small of a parking lot. I mean, there's 18 parking spaces. Most likely it's going to be used for employee because what was happening down here was this was where employees would park. Since that's now going to be the loading zone, I would anticipate that this is going to be employee parking. So morning shift, after, you know, and then evening shift.
Chair, could I say one thing? So we did actually meet with the neighbors out on site several weeks ago. We had and Lori was there. We had several people come and walk through and showed the area where the parking lot is proposed, and one of the things that I suggested, which I haven't run by the leadership at VOA yet, but I thought while I was there with them, we were there for about an hour, 2 trucks came barreling through, a FedEx and a UPS truck, and I thought, what if we, I don't even know if it's possible, but what if we asked that those truck trips relocated to where the new zone is, perhaps? I don't know. You know, if that would help.
I mean, that could help.
It just,
It's a reduction in some of the trips.
I don't even know if they would say yes, but it was something, the other thing, I thought is if they made it, maybe like that parking lot was just more strictly for employees, because one of the things that, Lori specifically commented about when we we're on site is that the parking spots that are directly across from her driveway, people sit out there on their breaks and talk on their phones and smoke, I guess, and like, she has a little bit of disruption from that, so I thought, well, what if perhaps we asked that employee parking was all in that lot? Like, there's just couple of things that maybe we could try to.
I think that would be the best course, is to try to restrict it as much as you can to employee parking, because then you know.
Right, they're there for 8 hours.
Exactly. There's going to be a morning shift. There's going to be an evening shift, and you're not going to have that in and out of constant. And you're not going to have, people sitting here in their cars during their lunch break or whatever.
Right.
You know, it would be back here where they're not. There's not going to be, they're not going to be visible.
Disturbing, right?
Yeah.
As many people potentially. I don't know. That was just one idea that I had thought of after my discussion with the neighbors on site.
Okay, thank you. If you would, you know the drill. Come on up, take a seat. Nope, take your time.
Just a quick question. Can we go to the top right of
Yep,
the...
don't forget your name and address, please.
Julianne Govang, 34 Groton Harvard Road. Thank you. The snow is going to be pushed to the top of that lot, or over the side of the lot, correct? That's the assumption? So I can see where the trickle-down factor is to the retention pond below. But the gap between the corner of the parking lot and the drop from 365, I believe is where it begins, to 360, is only 6 feet wide. So my thought is, and my question is, when we have the Farmer's Almanac forecast for the storms in the coming years, the storm's going to be pushed over there. Is that going to be adequate enough to force it to go into the infiltration slots and not down the hill?
It won't go down a hill. It'll go in the collection areas it always has, because there's no grading other than around where that bioretention is. And any water that happens to bypass the bioretention, which we can prevent that if need be, but even then it is still in the catchment area that is collected on Lincoln Hill.
Okay. It need be collected into the, yes.
So it is. So,
Yes.
so I think that,
I'm just saying if need be is not the answer. The answer is we need to.
Okay.
Because we cannot have additional water being added and coming down that hill.
It wouldn't be additional water. It's already it's already the water that is currently there, because they're already accounting for it in their stormwater for Lincoln Hill. It's because of the water catchment. So it was already accounted for, and so what they're doing now is they're just adding a bioretention area to help.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Chair.
Yes,
One
Mr.
more
Diskin.
question. Actually, this is for the engineer. Is there a particular reason for that parcel, is it A1, shape, rather than just a more traditional squared off shape? Is there a reason for the angles, other than that defines, is it mathematically required to make the open space work at over 50% or something like that?
It is to minimize the amount of developed area.
Okay. All right, so it looked like you could just square it off and do the same amount of
You can always
construction.
square off the line, but then that's fine, but then taking area away from
Open space on the other.
open space.
Okay, thank you.
Any further comments from the room? Okay, I saw the hand go up there first. Hello and welcome, name and address, and then after her, I will acknowledge you. Thank you.
Hi, good evening. Thank you very much. Christine Goulet, 15 Deer Run.
Thank you.
Just food for thought about the trickle-down effect of this. We wouldn't be here talking about a parking lot if the proposal for the other development was not in place. So now, as Lori Sable mentioned, my concern is further cutting down of trees. So it's like, how shouldn't this be attached to the open space plan? Again, because I realize they're two projects, two different clients, but it's a trickle down and they're all connected. So now we are destroying even more forest that Ayer has very limited already of. It's just, like I said, a trickle down, and my concern is even more forest to be destroyed. Thank you.
Thank you. And, yep.
Hello, Rachel Kozera, 30 Groton Harvard Road. I was just, in listening to your descriptions, what is the definition of an A&R? I just found.
Approval not required.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Thank you so much.
I know I use a lot of acronyms in here. I should elaborate when I say those kinds of things. I get used to it. So thanks you. Yeah.
Oh, no, I just looked it up and it seemed like there was a lot of variation, so I just wanted clarification on that. And I just had a question with regard to the integrity of the parking lot and kind of like who takes care of it after the developers leave. I just have seen other projects where there's been failures of drainage and different things that need upkeep over time. Are there any, I guess, catches in place with regard to that? And, will that just be down the line and different explanations that are required?
So as one of Heather's comments was to provide an O&M plan, which is an operation and maintenance plan. And that's just basically kind of sets forth like how often you need to clean trash, debris, mow it, do the retention area. That would be in place, and the people who would be responsible for that would be the VOA.
Okay, the VOA, awesome. And because it's a private way, I know there was a question on an email chain, I believe, with regard to accessibility of the town and different individuals from the town being able to access and look at the site. It was something, would it be possible for someone from Ayer to be able to go and do inspections if need be on this property, down the line with regard to that?
So during construction, yes, we would be out there. Post construction, we would need to get permission from VOA.
Okay, and so are there any just like catches in place for submitting maintenance reports, or is that just privately done by the VOA?
So the VOA would be responsible for submitting yearly inspection reports as we require for every project.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Board.
Just for clarification through the chair, that is not a requirement now of the VOA.
No, correct. That is not currently.
Because of the old systems that were there and whatnot, and it's not a requirement of many sites in town.
That is correct, yes.
It's the newer sites that we put it in place when we go through these kinds of reviews.
Yes, actually that condition was something that I brought to Ayer when I came here as a requirement of yearly inspection reports that we would receive in October, so that we know that all of the operation and maintenance plan was being conducted, so that every year we know that they're on top of it. And if they miss it, then we can always reach out and we keep a list of all of those. But it's something new that that I brought to Ayer that I felt was necessary.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further comment from the room? Is there anyone on Zoom? There was an iPhone that had a hand up. Pauline. Pauline? She muted? I think she's gonna unmute herself.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Nothing substantive about your meeting. please just ask your members and audience participants to speak into the microphone. It's been very muted. And Danny, I'm just going to single you out because you were on vacation and you chimed in on a Zoom meeting and you said, I can't hear you. So you appreciate that.
Yes.
Everyone needs to speak into the microphone, and that's all. The rest of the stuff, I'll leave for another time. That's all I want to say.
Good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pauline. Any further comments on Zoom? Did Danny, Julie? No?
The person that had their hand up is no longer in here, so.
Okay. Nathan?
Two comments to make. One is what we discussed about the use of the parking lot, maybe for employees only, and deliveries to be redirected around. I know, I recommend that go into a, if it's all agreed to with the VOA, that go in as a special condition, written down. Previously, we don't have to specify what you put on the sign. In my opinion, you guys can handle it, but that the intent is for employee parking to be beyond this line and deliveries on the south side.
Yes, please.
I just want to say that
I think we can do that.
ideas that just need to run them by the VOA. Okay.
Yes, if
That's reasonable.
agreed, let's just put it in writing in the special condition. Second is the adding this parcel, both. Could you zoom out for a little bit, Danny? What this would mean for the greater project, I believe, is that now this additional land, less the parking parcel, would be part of a conservation trust, which is not, was not going to previously be part of the conservation restriction. So one thing that this does is adds more land into a legally restricted agreement.
Thank you, Nathan. Hearing no further comments either from the room or Zoom, I'm going to ask for continuation, motion for continuation.
I'll make a motion that the planning board continue 0 Winthrop Ave, rear VOA parking lot, map 27, parcel 213, the application for site plan review and stormwater permit for the next planning board.
August 26th?
August 26th, next planning board meeting.
Do I have a second? Seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Chair is going to call for a brief recess, and we will continue at 7:30. Thank you. Meeting, and what this is the continued public hearing for 0 High Street and 38 Groton Harvard Road, Lincoln Hills. Special permit, site plan review, inclusionary housing and stormwater permit. Ian's up here. We have the applicant. And what we're going to do is the very important step of going page by page through the actual site plans themselves. So Ian, as the engineer, can take the lead with the pages, and on the board's behalf, Ken will be guiding the board through with questions and other comments, etc. So, Danny, did you have a comment? Yes.
Before we get to that, I think we should address the open special permit, and maybe we should do the
Okay, good.
formal withdrawal, and that way, if you could provide me and just write something out that, it doesn't need to be right now, but at the end of the meeting, I'll need something in writing.
Okay, yes. So we would like to formally withdraw without prejudice.
Yes.
The special permit application, both of the special permit applications for the Lincoln Hills project.
And those special, remind me, please, I'm a little space cadet here, but the special permit is covered what?
So the special permit on the original application was for the multifamily.
Right, and that's moot.
So it's moot because there's singles and duplexes. The other one was for the density bonus.
And that's moot now.
Yes, correct.
Do we need to make any formal finding or decision?
You need to vote on it.
On
their withdrawal without prejudice.
Oh, okay.
So you vote to accept it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I'd like to make a motion that we accept their withdrawal without prejudice from the special permits.
Second.
Further discussion?
So this basically closes the loop to 34 units,
Correct.
30 single family,
And
two
duplex.
duplexes,
Yes.
and we're done with that discussion.
Correct.
of
And
55.
now, yes, and the only applications that are open are the site plan review, stormwater management permit, and the inclusionary housing.
Right.
That's
And
it.
just one other little clarification. This zoning district was rezoned in 2024 to allow two-family as of right.
The table of use
Table
was
of use,
updated
right.
to allow duplexes as of right.
So the only question before was because we had multis that were more than two.
Correct.
That was the other special permit.
Yes.
So no need for special permit because we're within the table of use regulations at this point, which is in the district, A2 district.
Yes.
Well said. Thank you, Ken.
Oh, just clarifying it, that's all.
Good. Any further discussion? Hearing none. Ken, how do you vote?
Aye, on the withdrawal.
Yes.
Aye. A yes. Nathan?
Reluctantly, aye.
Yes.
Julie? Aye. Chair votes aye. We accept those withdrawals without prejudice. Now to the site plan, which I've been looking forward to.
So, Ian,
So,
I can,
How do you want to do this? I mean,
I'll do it.
Yes,
I'll
okay,
start.
go ahead,
So
Ken.
the way I'm gonna do this is,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to mention to you things that I might have found that can be clarified or
Okay.
could be updated
Okay, yeah.
by doing it page by page. So I'm gonna depend on Danny to show the page up there, and then we're gonna look at the spot that I think we need to take a look at and go from there. So,
And I want to just explain that in terms of public comment, at the end of, when we go through a page, Ken has had his questions, Ian and the applicant make their responses. I will first invite the board to ask questions about that particular page, and then I'll invite public comment on that particular page. But the important thing is we're going to go through the page first. Yes,
Yeah,
sir?
we got 17 pages here. It's
We got a
gonna
lot of
take
work.
a long time.
I'm not gonna do all 17.
It shouldn't be all set, yeah.
Okay.
All 17 pages. So, just for, to get it for the record, the last revision that we're looking at is dated 6/24/25, okay? So since then, we have had discussions about changes, but we haven't got that update yet. So we're working on the 6/24/25 last revision. So on the very first page, in the lower left, I think was brought up already by
Yes,
DPW, you want to change that count. Okay, so we got that. This has to do with the upper right, the legend, and the general notes.
Okay.
So during the process of review, the DPW, you guys, I think, still have a note in there that the proposed water lines are 6-inch when we know they're going to be 8-inch.
6-inch water line, yeah.
So you've got a comment in the note that it specifies the 8-inch in the note, but above it, and it doesn't. So that's a simple
That
thing.
already changed.
Right. Now, the number 3 in the general, so the general notes I thought were important because you clarified a number of things that came up during the DPW and Danny's review. And you used the term in number 3, fences.
Yes.
I think a number of us think it's gonna be a guardrail. So I'm not sure if you wanna add, are they always gonna be fences?
But we're talking about retaining walls.
We're talking about the retaining walls, correct, number 3.
Retaining walls is nowhere near traffic, except for one parking lot.
parking area.
And that we are going to be putting in a wood guarding rail, and that's what
Bless you.
that's already.
Bless you.
Okay, so we're gonna leave that alone. All the other notes, I thought were fine, if you wanna go through them, and we really don't have to, but, they represent, changes that you made, some of them already to upgrade the plan, so. Now, the other note here is that the sheet numbers, in fact, I believe is 1 to 18, not 1 to 17, as you see in the lower right, but the table on the right below CO says 1 of 17.
Yeah, there's something wrong there.
Yeah, so you just need to
Yeah.
renumber the sheets accordingly. And then you've included now a photometric plan and update, so you could probably add that to the very, very bottom. PH1.
The new photometric plan that was submitted.
The photometric plan.
So that becomes part of your plan set. That's all I had on that front page, if anyone else has anything on the front page. It's just a simple clarification. So EC, which is sheet 2, at the last, go ahead.
That's existing, so everyone can understand what we're talking about. EC refers to existing conditions.
Now, you pointed out at the last meeting that the test holes were shown on this plan in the locations. We had requested at the last meeting additional testing in the location of the detention basin. So has that happened?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay, so
It's in his.
that'd
It's
be,
done and it's ready on the plan.
okay.
The
it's on-
plans are all updated, but I was waiting for tonight just in case there was something additional.
Of course.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, so move on from that.
Yeah.
Okay, so grading plan G1 is the next.
Give a chance to meet.
Oh, sorry. I don't know, does anyone want to ask questions? How do you do it?
I'll acknowledge.
Hello, Rachel Kozera, 30 Groton Harvard Road. I see that it says sheet 1 of 17, but I only have 13 pages here, and it only says 13 pages up on the screen. So could you please clarify that discrepancy?
Yes, so the 17 pages is the full set of plans. Only 13 pages were revised since the full set of plans.
Okay, so what is the set of plans?
So the one that we're working off are the revisions that were done. So the yield plans one weren't updated.
So those generally.
All yield plans that are not included, so that's why there are 13 plans.
Yeah.
So there's just additional documents that aren't included. I'm sorry,
They will never change. The yield plans are to determine how many units we could put here.
Yeah, so the 4 yield plan pages that were in the original set of plans were never revised, so when they go to the next set, they just didn't carry them over until the end of when they make their final revision and we get to the final set of plans, all of them will be compiled together.
So just to accurately
You can
understand.
still see them. The
Yeah.
original plans are still there. If you go back to
Yes.
the webpage. So the original set is still there with all the pages.
Oh, okay.
So if
Yeah.
you need to see the pages 14, 15, 16, and 17, they're still there.
Yeah, they're just
Okay.
up here on the website.
So
In the original
I didn't know when I emailed you today regarding this. I didn't understand that there were pages that were missing.
Because they didn't change since they approved, they already did the yield
They're
plan.
approved. Oh.
Yeah, the yield plan was already, yeah. Yeah, the yield plan was already approved. Remember, the board made that vote that they voted on the yield plan for the 26 lots with 34 units. So those were just never carried over during the revisions.
Okay. Thank you for your clarification.
Yeah, I've just realized why that says 18, because the steep slope plan was removed.
Oh.
Well, go ahead.
Question. Sorry, I missed page 1.
Okay.
Will now the open space lot include the VOA property?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, so EC, we moved on because you said that that will be added, those test pits will be added to existing conditions plan and show it. Okay, now the next drawing is 3 of 7, okay, 17 already, G1.
Which is a grading.
The grading plan.
Yep.
So could you give us just a little further explanation of the existing elevations and the final grades that we're proposing here and across the developed part of the site? And what we are raising and what we're lowering, cutting and filling supposedly?
Yeah, the erosion control plan actually shows the main area of cut.
Okay.
But let me just say this, that as far as grading goes, the design of where these houses are, there is no slope, no road greater than 5%. And all the houses are pitched to the road by, I think, 1.5%. So, so stormwater will be gathered by the road, I mean, generally speaking. But then there's a note on the front page that gives a better explanation as to how that will make sure that happens.
Let me go to that,
Yes,
yeah.
I got a lot there, so maybe we ought to wait on that.
Okay, so, all right, we'll stay here then.
So just in general, the top, most of the site is somewhat a level, not too much of a cut.
Not too much. The major cut is right in the middle.
Michael, yeah, you can help on this if you have to.
That area is the cut, and then, then further back, as you go in there, there's a lot of fill.
That's all fill.
Yeah.
First, say 100 feet coming in off of High Street Extension, it's probably a 6-foot fill from existing grade. Right now, it drops off. And then by the time you get right towards right about there, that starts where you start getting cutting. And then it's a little, right there, it's a bigger cut, probably like a 6-foot cut right there. And then where the existing house, the Hudlin house, there was quite a bit of fill that was brought in over time, which is quite a bit of a cut right there as well. And then as you get down towards just a little further,
Down
and
Nicholas Lane.
right there, that's probably grade, and then after that, it starts getting fill all the way to the end, and then the cut right at the very end. That's a cut right there.
Okay.
And it's all from the edge of road to the open space line behind it is going to be either fill with walkout basements and then retaining walls on the backside to accommodate because it goes down to like 192 at the bottom down there by the pond. I mean, 291
Yeah.
at the pond, and the existing grade is, right around there is like 300 at the backs of the houses right there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, 300's right here.
yep,
290 is this darker hatch, this
Right
darker
there,
line
yep.
that kind of runs through the middle of this.
Yep.
So it's a 10-foot drop between these 2 points,
Yep.
which is
That's
not.
what the retaining wall's there for.
There's 2 retaining walls, and then the slope going into the retention pond will make up that drop in grade.
Okay, thank you.
So
So,
it's very close to a balanced site.
okay. In this case, the word balance, for people that don't know, means the amount of cutting and the amount of filling is about equal.
Yes.
The material that you cut can be used to fill,
Yep.
pretty much.
Yep.
In
If
volume,
if it's suitable.
if it's suitable.
And if I also believe the implication is balanced, that means there's less traffic either taking things out or bringing things in. Is that correct?
Yep, and it actually speeds up the process quite a bit too. It cuts down on construction time.
So when we get all done and someone drives down the street, they'll notice a slight grade pretty much throughout the whole project, but there won't be anything like what's there now. We have these steep drop-offs and
Right.
things like that.
Yep.
The whole site gets
Yep.
basically reworked and graded off and whatnot, and accommodated to get the water to the new catch basin system and drainage system and so forth.
And towards is that the south side right there? A lot of that, the houses taper down into that. And
That's all fill.
Yep.
And there's a retaining
And
wall
a
right here.
retaining wall.
Yep.
Okay, again, this is the plan that we talked about, the retention basin where the testing will be centered pretty much in the retention basin.
Yep.
Right
I
there.
did. Yep. I did that. Was
So
it?
there's even a little bit of fill in that retention basin.
Okay, cool. Only had one more question. Any slab on grade houses at all?
Nope.
Not proposed?
No, I don't. I just don't. I don't like it.
Yeah, okay.
If at all
Yeah.
possible,
Yeah, I don't think no. It just doesn't make sense. And when you look at the grades, a lot of the houses will build
We'll have walkouts.
Yep, walkouts, and I might even go to like a 10-foot wall just to even make that a little less of a drop off and behind the houses as well to give it a little more room.
Okay. That's all I had, if anyone else saw. Jonathan?
Nope, you covered it. Anything on Zoom? Great.
Okay, so we're going to the next drawing, which is U1. Utility plan number 1. So I had a few things here, just for clarification, and some of it was in the narrative. So we're only proposing, I guess, is it 3 streetlights that are being proposed for the project, or 4?
I believe it's 4.
Yeah.
4,
Yeah.
okay. I could only find 3, I think.
Here.
One at the entrance.
Yeah, I got it.
Let me pull it up here. So you got one here.
Yeah.
You got one here, one at the
Okay.
corner, and one at the end.
Okay, 4, all right. And the fire department will be involved on the final count of number of hydrants. I think you're showing 2 hydrants now.
One.
I think there's more than that.
I got 1 at the intersection and 1 at the entrance, but not one at the end where I thought there might be one at the very end.
I don't think there's one at the end, because I don't think they want to dead end it at the end.
Okay.
There might be one right across from where
They're
it
in the-
would tie down, right there,
The
maybe?
one there.
Right there, and then that ties down, so it's not going to
Okay.
leave a,
A dead end, they can
It's a
flip.
hydrant every 500 feet. I mean, that's
Yep.
the
Okay.
standard.
Yeah, that's the standard.
So between you and the fire department, we get the answer for that. We don't have to. that-
Yeah.
I think that if they want to change it during construction, then that's
Make a
what they'll
field
do.
change, okay. I notice there's a sidewalk on one side of the road all the way through the project,
Yes.
which is good. Is there any concern with how you return that sidewalk to all the driveways that we have here, how that transitions? So it's obviously have to be worked out to be a smooth transition from driveway to
So
sidewalk to driveway to sidewalk.
With the Cape
Or a
Cod
detail
berm,
of how we do
they'll lower it down to the existing roadway elevation, so the sidewalk will slope down the
Yeah,
6
pitch,
inches
right.
between the Cape Cod berm elevation to slope down so that
3 inch. So
yeah.
It's a very small drop.
Okay, so there's no issue with that, thank you. The count of the parking lots for visitors, is that something that we have a regulation on, or is that just try to accommodate what you estimate would be the number of visitors that would come to the site?
I believe there is a visitor parking requirement. I know I've looked into this, and they're above the required.
I think we added those 2 spots across
Yeah,
from that.
I know you added it.
Spot because there was a little extra room for getting into that open space on the
Okay.
corner coming in.
But yes.
I think you gave us, there's these retaining walls at the bottom down here.
Yes.
Have you shown detail on those? I thought you showed some detail on the pair.
Yeah,
but-
they're the same retaining wall, but they're less than 5 feet, so you only need one.
Okay,
It's the same, exactly the same retaining wall,
so it's on the detail sheet.
on the detail sheet, yeah.
Okay.
Typical retaining wall.
Thank you. And then the question the DPW had, and I don't know if you've considered it, is if you go up the drawing to where the utilities outlet from the street down to the, through the, that distance between those units and the ability to potentially maintain those, either manholes or, manholes, I guess that are
Yeah,
there.
they're manholes.
Is that an acceptable width? I mean, you can get in there and work if you had to.
Do you have 15 feet? I think you have 15 feet between the units.
There's more than that. There's, right there, I think it's like 20 feet.
I know Matt made a comment, and
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that, I mean, he
when they address, when they do the response, we'll have to see if Matt's okay with that.
I
With
don't
what
think,
they-
Matt didn't say anything more on that. I mean, that was, I mean, I've addressed all on his last comment sheet, so.
The
that didn't
manholes will
come up.
be, the covers will be to grade, they'll be accessible, and there'll be an easement, that'll be part of the easement that allows the town to access and maintain and,
Right,
get to those.
okay. Going back a little bit to the drainage, can you just point out, Ian, where there's actually some catch basins that are off the street that are designed, I guess, to pick up water from the lawns or whatever the case might be? There's a few.
Yeah, there's double catch basin right there.
Yeah, and that's,
And that catches all the runoff from the parking lot, from VOA, although it doesn't go directly to there, it kind of eventually gets there.
Okay. That's about what I had, if anyone else has anything else on that plan.
Yeah, Kathleen?
Kind of related to utilities in terms of public services. What is the mail structure plan?
Oh, good.
It's there,
Where
No,
is it?
Right there.
that's by that parking lot right
very
there.
tiny.
Right here? Oh, mailbox, right kiosk, right here.
And that is going to be,
Right here, the mail kiosk. It's gonna be kind of like a,
bigger mailbox.
yeah.
okay,
Early
sorry, I
on.
They
missed
might even
it.
have to have two
Each unit
because,
will have a parking there. I mean, I've seen those, I can get
Yeah,
a photograph of
yeah.
one exactly what it looks like.
And
Yeah.
then in
Pretty
terms
standard.
of like other public services, like school bus pickup and drop off, I don't know that we know that the school bus is gonna go all the way.
Yeah, so that's typically something that the school department handles with, once the project is at a later date. We don't typically handle that. School department will tell them where it's going to be.
Okay, and then do they have an opportunity to put a bench or make space or? No, that's kind of just covered by what the school's gonna decide to do?
Yeah.
Okay. That's all.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Mr. Chair, just want to confirm that the light at that intersection is going to be, is it sufficient to light up the mail kiosk?
Is it for the mail?
No, most likely they'll need to have a light above the mail kiosk, like something small. In my experience, what I've typically seen is when you put in that mailbox, the bigger mailbox, usually they want it either some sort of a structure cover over it with a small light on it.
Locate the light on the opposite corner?
We could put
Yeah,
the light on the other side.
Yeah, we
Oh,
could-
move it here.
might not
Or-
be a bad idea to put the light on the other side, or,
Here.
yeah. Yeah, I would put it diagonally across.
You could put it here, shift this down a little bit.
Yeah, I think that there's got to be a stop sign right there.
Okay.
And there's the sidewalk. But you could move that kiosk down a little bit. And I would think, if you want a light by the mailbox, then move that light.
Could do one of those smaller residential style lights that you see sometimes in front of houses. About 5 feet. Like those small.
Oh, like a lamp post.
Yeah, kind of like a lamppost. You could do 2 of those on either side.
Come up.
Yeah.
Come up with something.
We'll look
Yeah.
at it. Yep,
Could you approach the town and find out if it's even better for the development to have the mailbox right at your very entry?
Or you could put it up by the,
No, by the,
five spot.
so when you come into the site, everyone is getting their mail before they get to their home, instead of going down and turning around, which I don't think is a great
Have
thought.
you guys had a meeting with the postmaster yet?
I did very early on in the project, I went just to make sure that it needed to be a kiosk and it wouldn't be individual mailboxes, and they said absolutely kiosk, yeah. So, but I didn't ask them about placement of it, we didn't have a plan really.
I think it might help just to reach out to the postmaster, ask them where they would prefer it, because they're going to tell you where they would like it best, and that's kind of like where you want it. So I think reach out to them and see what the postmaster says is where he would prefer the mailbox kiosk.
I'll bring in the set of I'll make an appointment and bring in the set of plans and.
Chair acknowledges, yep. Yep, yeah, didn't you have your hand up?
Where would you like me to?
Right over here, right here, Nathan's gonna give you a seat.
Rachel Kazera, 30 Groton Harvard Road. I was just, you all were just talking about the lampposts, and I just noticed on one of my walks, there's a new development that has a lamp, but it just stays on all night. So I didn't know if it made sense, near where the mailboxes are for the new development. So I didn't know if it made sense to do like a light sensor or something like that, just so that way it wouldn't be on, unnecessarily, just with the animals and the location of it. So I just didn't know if that would be an option or.
It's part of the design.
Pardon?
It's part of the design for the lights. I think it's might be a requirement for control.
For it to be on all the time?
No, for control.
But there is the street lights will have to stay on, obviously, at night. I think that's what you're talking about.
No, I was referring to the mailbox situation. You were indicating that two, little lampposts might be nice on either side. And I was just noting that on a walk, it's like late in the evening that no one's getting their mail, generally speaking. Or if they do, then it would turn on just necessarily. I don't know if that. It's just a thought I had while you were discussing that. But also, I know you all were talking about the drainage and what have you, but last meeting we discussed the snow storage situation that's located.
This one right here, yeah.
Yeah, in that general region. I know that Jake reached out to you, but that seems to be just a little bit problematic with regard to the inconsistent snowfall that we have generally. Some years it's little, some years it's a lot. So I was just wondering if you could speak to any sort of modifications that have been discussed with regard to that particular component.
So at the last meeting, we talked about having, because that was brought up previously by someone else as well, moving this snow, like removing this snow storage area so that it's not melting down the side of the slope there.
Okay.
So
That one has been removed, so.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah, we had talked about it at the last meeting, and we had taken note. I just wasn't sure if it would.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks, Nathan.
Don't see anybody else. Okay. Which page, Nathan?
You too, I guess, we'll move on.
Utility plan 2.
Okay.
So the only thing I had here was, there was a question that came up regarding the easement that takes you all the way down to the Caltech system. Whether there was a consideration to move that further from the property line, or have you reviewed that at all?
I've already done that.
So we will see that.
Yes. I've moved it as at least 5 feet away from that, as in some places more.
Okay. There and on that, there obviously, so the McGillicuddies do have raised their concern regarding the installation of this sewer main, because it's on the slope near adjacent to their driveway. So they have some concerns regarding actually, construction portion of it and making sure that it doesn't destabilize their driveway. So I think when construction starts occurring, making sure that when that's being installed, that the slope along the side of their driveway is not going to be destabilized.
Yeah, because that's we're gonna have limited work, either silt fence or
some
silt
construction
Limited work.
Yeah.
That will be on limited work area, so then they'll be at least 5 to 7 feet or whatever it is off of the lot line where it will be undisturbed.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure that I raised that, because it was raised to me at the last meeting. We didn't get to it because I didn't see the message until after the meeting was almost over. So I just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah, I think the big thing about their concern about their driveway is when they construct the trench for that sewer manhole, we're not concerned about runoff because it'll be coming towards the trench. The issue is if that trench is going to cave in.
Yeah.
That's up to the developer
Yeah.
to be able to build it without it caving in.
Yeah.
They got to
If
make
they have to
sure it
use
doesn't
trench
cave in,
boxes,
and
if they
they've
have
got to
to,
use
yeah.
Yeah.
the right equipment.
I mean,
to do so.
Once you get to a certain depth, you have to use a trench box anyway.
Yeah,
so,
right.
so
Law, right?
yeah. So
All right, I really didn't have anything else on the utility 2 plan unless anyone else has
They're
something.
essentially the same. The only difference is the one goes down High Street a little further, and the other one goes down to Groton Harvick. They can't fit all on both one plan, so.
Okay. Anybody else on that? No? Okay, so now we're on to PP1, which are the
profiles.
Profile plans, which probably are complicated for a lot of people, but I only have a couple of questions on the profiles.
Yep.
Should we show, and I understand that it is private utilities on the site pretty much, but should we make an attempt to show the utilities from the street to the houses? So showing basically water, sewer, the underground that goes up to the units. You're showing everything in the road incorrectly.
Okay, can I make a suggestion?
No.
Okay.
No, I was just making, that's supposed to be a joke. Go ahead.
The suggestion would be to show a typical house.
Yep, okay.
With a typical, how it gets its utilities. And I can add a plan to show that.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah.
Just another little clarification, that's all it is.
Sure.
So we understand that we're getting electric, water, sewer,
Yeah.
whatever else has to go there.
Okay.
Now, there's no natural gas on the project proposed. We're over that already.
So you're going to use propane? Oh, heat pumps.
Well, electric, right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so.
So there's not even any propane involved.
Propane involved. So P1, PP1, PP2, PP3, I'm over to PP3. Now, I had nothing on PP2. On PP3, I had the same question, but you already answered it regarding the utilities between units 33 and 31. And then you basically, I just quickly, just a general thought. The total project, just for is about 1,400 feet of road here, basically, the way I figured it. You got 600 and 400, something in that vicinity.
Yeah, something like that.
Not that it matters too much, but just for people to know, it's about 1,400 feet of road. It's what we're building here. And in typical, the construction of these private streets is typically matching pretty close town standards for a town street. Is that correct?
Yes.
We're gonna
The
use ADS
detail
pipe.
is a town detail.
Okay, so even though it's private streets, you basically use the DPW standards to develop the design on these streets.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Not much, that's all I had on that, so. If anyone else has anything. Okay, now we get on to, we're moving on, right?
Yes, we are. Yep.
So ES, just drawing ES, which is the erosion and sediment control.
Okay, this is a biggie.
So
Okay, there's a lot of detail there.
Yes.
there's a lot that might be missing here, so, but I'm gonna start with what I think is simple here.
Okay.
The drawings show at the bottom, you show the detail on, I believe you're just showing a straw wattle detail.
Okay.
That to me is unacceptable. I think it should be a minimum of straw wattle with a silt fence, buried silt fence.
Okay.
And I
Add
prefer to
silt
find
fence.
out which is the best alternative, which might be a hay bale plus a silt fence. I'm not sure which one is better.
We don't use hay bales. Hay bales are kind of
All day?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're not. I mean, if you want to use something a little bit stronger, you could use a mulch sock. But
Okay, so I'm good with that. So
we don't use hay bales anymore.
in the note, you see your note number 1, it says wattles shall be constructed, in similar. Then it says, install the wattles, number 3, snugly into 3 to 5 inch deep trench, but your drawing above shows it on natural ground. So my preference would be that the detail is clear, that it shows a straw wattle 3 to 5 inches in depth with a silt fence backing it up, which I think is about 6 inches or 8 inches in depth. And then you've got, I believe, a pretty secure perimeter.
Isn't that what the anchor is? The
No,
silt
it's
fence?
no, it's
No,
not a
that's
silt
not.
fence.
That's just
Oh, okay.
Stake.
I kept reading that as a
Silt fence.
as a silt fence. That's why I never made that comment. I assumed that
I mean,
anchor was the silt fence.
no-
I have
nobody
abs-
asked for a silt fence, so I didn't put one on
I
there.
have no
But,
objection
mean,
to
you
adding
want
a silt fence, though. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, that's our normal requirement.
I'll add a silt fence detail, and I'll change the detail so it shows a 3 to 5 inch.
Depth.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you can presumably understand, because of the complexity of the runoff, we want to, double check everything on that. So that's important, obviously. Okay. The other thought, when I look at this plan, it does not show us what I believe would be protection around the perimeter of the area of the Caltech system in the lower section of the plan. It doesn't show any silt fence or anything down there, which I'm presuming we're going to have to do parallel to the easement line. In other words, the silt fence is going to have to follow the perimeter of the work, or the limit of work.
Yeah.
The silt fence, I mean, that's probably, and that make sure that the contractor stays within the
Within the
limit
limit
of
of
work.
work, right.
And there's nothing wrong with putting
Well,
silt
okay,
fence.
let me make a comment on that. I mean, first of all, you're going to be using a surveyor to show you precisely where to build. The silt fence is to act as a silt fence. So they're two different things.
Well,
They make a different type of silt fence that's more of a,
could be a snow fence.
Snow fence.
It's a metal one.
Yeah, I've seen them too.
So
Similar, it's a little more durable, it's not gonna break down as quick.
the problem, Ian, is that I've seen this happen.
Yeah.
We have other situations where if it's not clearly labeled, the contractor will drive his machines where he feels comfortable driving the machine.
Yeah.
We have to direct the contractor within the limit of work.
Okay, so there should be a limit of work
Indicated.
Delineated.
Yeah. You'll want to, especially for the easement, that's gonna have to be delineated. And I
We'll
think,
delineate that and we'll just draw, so either a silt
Just-
fence or something that's.
or even that orange construction fence that's
Yeah.
bright and you can see, like a snow fence that you would typically see, something like that along the easement, so that you know exactly where you need to stay within.
So let's call a silt fence without just a silt fence
Yeah.
by itself.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna want to have some.
And you want silt fence.
You're gonna want some wattles down here, and just
as well
to
as
make
wattles down at the bottom.
yeah, you're gonna want it at least where it starts to level off down here. Wattles all along here, yeah, because you're not gonna need it up here. You're gonna need it down here because that's where you're really gonna do all the construction.
The north side is sloped between 10 and 12 feet down at the bottom where the Caltech system is on the high side. It slopes down that literally 10 feet
Yeah.
from the neighbor's property.
Yeah, that's why I think you don't really
there up.
You want the wattles to protect
down here. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna want it
Those
on this
two
side.
sides.
Exactly, right.
My expectation is that you'll take a very close look at this and determine where you have to add the extra silt fence and wattles. And
Yeah.
determine the limit of work accordingly. And
I would also
take every precaution.
Yes, I would also extend this line that you have here up.
Around.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
I would
exactly.
extend it up here because I know you, or however you want to do it, but because there is going to be construction going on in this area, we know that. You're just gonna want to either bring that up here and follow this line,
Keep going.
or something. But you need to prevent the sediment from going down this way.
Okay.
From
Because I don't
after where the easement goes down.
Yeah, because I don't want you to cut this and then, since there's no erosion here, it's just going straight down this way.
Well, you're putting in a wall.
Unless you
and the wall is going to be there built before you put the fill, and that should serve the purpose.
But it's more of a when it gets cut. So once you cut and
that's all fill.
No.
No, when you cut the
When you're
trees
cutting
down.
the trees, because you're gonna stump it, and then at that point,
Get into the open space area.
You want to do the limit of clearing is different to where you're putting wattles. So
I agree, but because what my concern here is, once you strip
Outside
it,
construction area, there
yeah,
should be a water line going down over towards the
Yeah.
easement area that goes that way.
Yep,
and
and then
it goes around the retention
yeah,
pond.
exactly.
Yeah, so.
Yes,
I've got it around the tension pond.
we dealt with,
but to add it up, okay.
issues
Plus
and
along the retaining wall, okay.
Yep, and the contractor is gonna be responsible for those as
Yeah.
well.
And obviously there's SWIP inspections and all that.
Yep.
Right? I just want to make sure that this right here just doesn't go on, unnoticed.
Outside the area where there's gonna be a retaining wall, limited work with the, just, limited cutting, and right at, the wattles and silt fence will be right at limited cutting.
Yeah, and even if when you're stripping it, you even leave this backside higher,
Yes.
that's something that I would be happy with too. I just want to make
on
sure.
On top of where the original soil loam is, and is gonna be higher along with the wattle and silt fence.
Okay.
So when you, strip the loam and stuff like that, you'll have closer to 3 feet of, berm essentially.
Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Thank you for that.
I'm just gonna ask briefly, can you move that microphone closer to you? And then Janet, you're doing a great job speaking into it. Can we put it more towards Ian? Because you've been a little more pointed. I just wanna help you because you're doing a great job.
So, there's a line, this is gonna get into phases. Now, you have notes on here about construction phasing. Can you give us a little more about what your thoughts are on that, the fields?
Right, that's in the notes. It does say, that phase one is to start the excavation and push material towards the north, because that's where the fill's going. I mean, they're obviously going to work with the material right there because they got to refine that, they got to crush it, they got to sort it and decide, but they are pushing it towards the north so that the south side will remain unchanged until the north side is completed, and then they'll do phase two. And that is, and phase two is to the south side of Adam Road, essentially. As well as Matthew Lane and so on.
Yeah, there's gonna be some material being brought in at the entrance of, High Street Extension, just so you can, the trucks can get in without having, too much of a steep slope. There's gonna be an area where we're gonna, stockpile loam and, all that, that's gonna be there as well, so.
Yeah.
And some of that, we have to coordinate that with the contractor that's gonna do it to make sure that, it's economical and
But
we're not trucking material out.
Yeah,
bringing material in.
we don't want runoff taking material down the slope. So the essential part is to try and keep it up towards the north.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
I feel like efficient is a better word than economical.
Efficient.
So in phase one, you have to install all the utilities to the Groton Harvard Road. You have to put in the cul-de-sac. There's no misunderstanding that the utilities are going from High Street to the Groton Harvard Road. So in phase,
There's no misunderstanding about that, that's directly.
I think so this is more of a grading and phases. That's how I see this. That's how I typically see these.
he's got a whole
Yeah,
right up here.
I know, but in terms of what they're showing on the plan, they're talking about
Moving
what you're
material.
grading and what you're
Okay.
moving. That's where I think the construction sequence comes into play, where what you're talking about is utilities and other things. Yeah.
I would recommend you take a look at the way you wrote the construction sequence up and double check that matches with what you want to do. Some things are somewhat out of order, that's all, just review it. I think you've got putting in utilities after the road is paved, things like that, so just take a look at it.
Sure.
Double check the wording so that it matches up with you in the fields. Expectation is for the sequence.
Okay.
I'd appreciate that. And that's about what I had on ES.
Do we have any questions or comments about erosion and sediment control? Come on up.
Just move. Yeah, just try to.
Thank you. Hi again, Rachel Gozera from the Harvard Road. I was just.
Can you just speak up a little bit?
Oh, my apologies. I was just taking a look. I believe it is number 3 in the notes, and
Under the erosion or under sequence?
pardon me, under the erosion control and sedimentation notes.
Okay.
So the existing vegetation that is there, I just had the opportunity to take a peek what was underneath the trees and the systems as far as roots. Sorry. Well, no, it's important. As far as roots that go down actually into the rock that's there. So there's no indication as to what vegetation will replace the plants that are being displaced by all of the, I guess, construction that's happening. So I didn't know if it was possible to, take a look. They're going to be removing the stumps at what structures might be most beneficial to the area, considering, the slope, considering, what's going to be taken away. I just know that when the wattles come down, when the erosion control comes down, that whatever's there is going to keep the integrity of the space. So just because of the, it's not an ideal place to build something. So just to kind of take that into consideration. But yeah, just
Yep. Yeah. So that's what I was gonna get. That's what I was gonna discuss. So there is a landscape plan up on the website of what's going to be planted after. Anything that's not impervious areas also going to be just loam and seeded. So with grass.
Right. So is there going to be, so is that already approved? Is that my understanding?
Is what approved?
The landscaping? Okay.
No, we haven't touched that one yet.
Oh, okay, so that's just what I'm referring to, I guess, with just further clarification, because loam and seed, I don't think would hold up the same way that roots, like tree roots do, structurally speaking.
Yeah, so there's a full landscape plan set on the site, on the website.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. I'm just making that statement based on the comments that are there and the descriptions that I read specific to this particular page. Okay. Okay.
I think for clarification, you're asking about where the utilities are going to go through the open space and what is the specification of what landscaping will be there after the utilities go in?
I think she's talking about comment number 3. This is only during temporary, this is after disturbance. This is only for temporary stabilization. That's what this comment is for. It's only during temporary stabilization.
Right.
So for the temporary stabilization just means during construction to make sure that there's no sediment going off site.
No, I understand. There's a specific point that talks about when the stabilization is taken away. So I think that's what I was just talking about. It's just like ensuring that the root systems hold the same integrity that is there currently. Just because the roots grew down into the rocks, so it's just, I don't know how you replicate that, but
so
grass doesn't do the same thing.
Typically it will. It'll do the same thing. Typically what happens
as a tree?
So the tree stabilizes the dirt in that area, but when you put down the loam and seed and grass grows, it now stabilizes all of that dirt. That's how it functions. That's why when you loam and seed, that's one of our requirements during construction, post-construction, that the seed take and grow in before you're allowed to take out the erosion control.
Okay. Alrighty. Thank you so much.
Anybody else? Whoop. That was bound to happen.
I got it.
Thank you. You know, I gotta get you.
It's in stormwater control.
Yeah, right. I don't really have anything on the details, D1 and D2. I mean, I looked them over, they're fine. So, the rest of the plans that we have in the packet are pretty much the plans that were there originally, and there has really been no revisions to them, so that's what I had for tonight.
No, okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, my God.
Kind of want to thank you.
I never should have done that.
We're good. It's like gymnastics, Karen.
Yes.
You were doing beautifully, but the landing with the wall.
Stump grindings?
But otherwise, Ken, thank you very much for leading us through that. Are there?
I don't want stump.
Don't make me bang the gavel. Okay, thank you. Are there further comments and questions? Yes, so regarding the plan set, I acknowledge Kathleen.
I had a question about the landscape plan, but I don't know if that is.
So we're currently still doing reviews on it. I just received comments from Heather, so I wasn't planning on doing a landscaping plan tonight.
Okay.
The intent was just to kind of go through the civil plans. I figured at a later date we would do landscaping, because I have a lot of comments that I'm still working through with Heather as well, versus native versus non-native. So we're gonna, I think, get to that at another meeting.
Great.
Real quickly,
Nathan.
Number 15 right there that you have up on the screen. The engineer. Who is the engineer?
Well, his firm is the engineer.
Yeah, Ian. Mark Ian Rubin, right? Am I wrong?
Okay, you're gonna approve the suitable
The
ground.
completion of the project, all disturbed areas are to be permanently loomed and seeded or permanently stabilized with other suitable ground cover approved by the engineer, right?
Yeah, so you are going to identify suitable ground cover.
Well, it says there by loom and seeded. If you want to do something else, then let us know.
Oh, okay. Okay, loam and seed.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. There's also in the stormwater report, somewhere, well, I think it's here somewhere where you're putting in the utilities that is not in the open space. It says somewhere. It's got to be natural vegetation as opposed to lumen seeded. I mean, so it'll be more than just grass seed, you know. So I can't remember where that was. It's somewhere.
Is it an easement going down from?
Right.
It might be within the
It's a state.
stormwater report.
Yeah, I think it's.
I think it's within this.
Yeah.
Because it's not gonna be mowed, it's not gonna be manicured.
Well, actually, it's in the stormwater report, and it's supposed to be mowed twice a year.
The basin, not the road, not the easement.
And the easement.
Oh, okay.
The easement's got to be maintained. I mean, it's.
They still need access to the structures.
Okay.
Yeah.
5 years later, you're gonna have saplings growing.
Right, it'll be a forest, right. Okay, great. Good. Anyone on Zoom?
No.
I think we need a motion for continuing to the next meeting. All right, I'll do it. I move that we continue the public hearing for 0 High Street, 38 Groton Harvard Road, Lincoln Hills, site plan review, inclusionary housing, and stormwater permit to our next planning board meeting on August 26th.
Seconded.
Any further discussion? Ken?
Aye.
Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. Great, we'll see you next meeting.
Why is it the 25th?
26th.
Did I say
No, you
26th?
said 26th.
I misheard you.
That's all right, brother. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Project status updates.
Yes.
Mr. Ruiz.
Stratton Hill. So, for Stratton Hill, they're moving along as they've been going. You know, the project's moving pretty quickly. They put up the erosion control along the stormwater basin. I believe. So I just received their SWIP inspection again last weekend on Friday. They still haven't moved on the finalization of the CMP and where the habitat is going to be moved. We're waiting on that, but based on my discussion with Attorney Collins, that they're getting close to having the amendment from Fish and Wildlife on that, or Natural Heritage, I believe it is. So for that, they're just moving along.
And I just want to say that I'm very grateful that they're taking advantage of the drought to do as much of the actual land clearing part, because it's a time when there's the least likelihood of erosion. So let's, lemonade from lemons. So that's good. Nathan, you had a comment?
No, go ahead.
Julie, did you have anything about the blasting on the?
No, Kathleen?
Have you guys noticed any issues? I know.
They've been blasting. It looks like they blasted the boulevard. But no.
Nothing.
Okay, great.
That's good. The substation on Park
substation,
Street, yes.
yeah.
So
Seems to grow every day.
they seem to be coming. I believe the cleaning out of the culvert is going to be occurring. Was it 2 weeks? 2 weeks from now. Once that gets done, they can get in the wetland replication area, which would be great. And yeah, I think that project's kind of moving along pretty slowly. You know, their construction schedule was a 2-year project, they had said. You know, they're doing a lot of the bigger, upgrading work. There's still some other, some of the site work and stormwater, like the they've put down a lot of the stone of the expansion, but there's still quite a bit of work that they are doing with the high tension lines and all that.
Mm-hmm. Great.
I don't know if I updated the board on this, but at the there was a rainstorm 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Give or
One
take.
storm we had.
Yeah,
It was on a Thursday.
Yes,
Was
2
it
weeks
Thursday,
ago.
Friday? Okay.
So 2 weeks ago Friday we went out.
Yes,
Yep.
we went out there to inspect. There was
After the rainfall.
Yes, after the rainfall.
That's right.
Because there was a very large puddle there, and it is an existing condition issue.
Yes, I've seen it before.
We have a plan to address it in the future. The plan is going to be that there's going to be a catch basin put in that area that's going to then feed to the outlet structure that they're going to be cleaning out. That's the plan for right now. We don't know. It hasn't been finalized. I know there are some concerns with it, but that's the only really way to deal with it because that low area, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
You can't pipe it anywhere else.
Mhm.
So that's really the only place to pipe it. So that's gonna have to. We're looking at that and timing. We don't know when that's gonna be. Based on my discussions with Matt, it's going to be tied in with the senior center stuff, timing wise, but we don't know. 91 Groton Harvard Road. So they're basically, for the most part, done, except for the paving and that rain garden that they have up front. They've installed all of they did the slopes, they did the jersey barriers, they did the stone, they've done all of the stormwater, those little catch basins that are on the site. They're doing all their swips, so they're staying on top of it. We have not had any mishaps recently, so no shutting them down. They've been staying on top of all of their stuff. So we've been pretty happy with what they've been doing.
Beautiful. Great. Then we have the meeting minutes. I sent some recommended suggested edits, so if you had a chance to read. Do we have a motion to approve the meeting minutes for July 22nd, 2025 as amended?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Seconded?
Any further discussion? How do you vote, Ken?
I have to abstain because
You weren't there?
Yeah, I was there, but I haven't reviewed them closely.
Okay. Kathleen?
Yes.
Nathan?
Aye.
Julie?
Yes.
Chair votes aye. They are approved, and with that, motion to adjourn?
I will not be here next meeting.
Oh, okay.
Work it out with Danny, like whatever, because of all the usual stuff.
We'll have you review the meeting minutes and then.
I'll tell Lady Gaga you say hi.
All right. Hey, great
Have
meeting
fun.
tonight.
I'll be throwing that in
Everyone,
every
thank you very much.